This podcast explains how the command interpreter in Linux desktop works. What you need is a virtual machine, a few Linux commands, and the file manager application. The objective is to execute some basic tasks with the command interpreter. But first, let's pay attention to the bottom of the screen where we have a panel that tells us a few configuration aspects of the virtual machine, such that the status of the keyboard, the mouse, and some other icons telling us the configuration. Right on top of that, we have what we call the panel that has several areas. One is showing us a bunch of icons telling us the configuration of the machine, keyboard, monitor, etc. To the left of that, we have a few icons that we will use to fire or start a few applications. And on the left hand side, we have one icon that allows us to access all the applications installed in the machine, as well as the menu to shut down the machine. So let's start by executing a command interpreter on a window, what we call a terminal. We can type a few commands, like for example pwd tells us the default folder, ls shows us the content of the folder, cd allows us to change the default folder to a different one, as we can see now on the screen, and the ... folder points to the parent folder. mkdir is a command that allows us to create one new folder, as we can see, and the command mv with two parameters moves the first one onto the second location, as we can see here. If we open the file manager, we can see that inside folder 1 we have another folder 2, which is what we just moved with the mv command. The command rmdir is used to delete an empty directory, as we can see the effect here. We delete folder 2 and the file manager shows us how that folder disappears. One interesting feature of the command interpreter is what we call auto completion. When we push the tab for 2 times, the shell tells us the possibilities to finish the file name. If that possibility is one single possibility, it finishes the file name for us, which allows us to type very fast. I strongly recommend using that feature. We can have more than one window in parallel executing commands. As we can see, each command interpreter is independent from each other, and therefore they have a different default folder and they can work separately.